Hi guys, I'm Barb with barbstamps.com, and today I have a video for you showing you how to create this really cool lattice work that's done at the top of this card. Very cool. And I also have a downloadable template on my blog that you can use to help you in the cutting process. So it's a very simple card. Let's get into it and I'll show you how to make it. All right, here we are. Let's get started. First off, what you're going to need to do is to print off the template for this card. It's on my blog, barbstamps.com. And then we are going to trim out one of these patterns here. So I'm just going to trim this out. Come all the way over. Okay, and then I'm just going to follow this line right here. Trimming this off. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to move my card out of the way. Bring in a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. This just measures 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to fold it in half. Then we're going to lay our template along the edge of the card, and you need to secure it somehow. I'm just going to use these small binder clips that I have. You could use a paper clip. I don't recommend using adhesive because then when you take the template off, then you're going to see your adhesive. So something that resembles just a clip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut on each of these lines, and you can tell that they're not the same size. You only want to cut to the end of the line. You don't want to go any farther than that, okay? And you also don't want to go less than the length of the line, because then your folds won't be as good as they could be. And the last one. Okay. So we're going to remove the paper clips, binder clips, whatever you happen to have on there. Remove the template. And then we're going to open the card up. Okay. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is this little chevron or arrow, whatever you want to call it, V, down here at the bottom. You want to fold that over, and then you're going to snip that little piece off. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in a bone folder, and I'm just going to kind of burnish where I cut so that the cut lines are nice and flat. Then we're going to move up our chevron row here. So we have this next one. That one we're going to leave where it is. And it's the one above that. We're going to fold this over, and you just want to make sure that the point lands on the fold line. Whoops, the point lands on the fold line that we created when we folded our card. All right. Move up to the next one. So you're skipping one and moving up. Bring that one down. Make sure again that it points right on the fold line. Skip one. Bring the next one down. Again, making sure it lands on the fold line. And we're going to continue this to the top. So we're going to keep going, skipping one and folding one. Skipping one and folding one. Okay. Nope, that one isn't quite on. There we go. Skip one, and then the very last one we're going to fold over, making sure that it points to. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Then we're going to bring in that little piece that we just cut off. Here's the one we cut off, and we're going to add a little bit of glue to the top of those things. We're going to add a little bit of glue there. Apparently my glue is clogged. Should have unclogged it before I started the video, right? Okay, got a little bit of glue there. And again, we're going to make sure that the V points to the fold line. And then we're just going to secure that to the top of the card. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Oops, I moved that. Okay, so we've got that placed on there. So now what we need to do is we need to tuck under all these little chevrons. So we're going to pull that out, tuck that one under, lift that up, tuck that under, and we're just going to continue all the way up the card of lifting and tucking. Okay, Then we're going to fold the card in half. I'm going to zoom out just a little. And we're going to bring our bone folder back in here, and we're going to make sure that all these folds are nice and crisp. Okay? Because that's just going to make your card look better. It'll open up nicely, and then it'll just be a little bit flatter for mailing purposes. Okay, so here we have the main part of the card. Now we need to just do some decorating on it. I wanted to use some products from the Cupcakes and Carousel suite that's in the Occasions catalog, shown on pages 8 and 9. We're going to use the 6x6 Designer Series paper stack. So you get 48 sheets in this stack. You get some super, super awesome patterns. So here's the one that I used on my original card. And then I've got a few other cards that use some more of the patterns. Here's another one of those patterns. One using one of the kind of sunburst patterns, very cool. And this is kind of a more muted pattern. So there are quite a few fun patterns in this pack. And I did use, where is it? Other side. I did use the Harlequin pattern on the original card that I made, but I think I might want to try using this pattern here. Just shake it up a little bit, see how we like it. Okay, so I need to cut. Oh, I guess I could talk a little bit about the rest of the items. In here we have the Designer Series paper. We've also got the marker duo, the Calypso Coral Bermuda Bay marker duo. We've got the Cupcakes and Carousels embellishment kit, and we are going to be using this kit to finish this card. So the kit's full of all kinds of goodies. You've got some So Saffron and Pool Party Baker's Twine wrapped in gold. We've got these fabulous little tags that we're going to use. We've got the Ombre Calypso Coral Ribbon, some sequins, the Very Vanilla Tassels, and these cute little paper bows. And here's a card that I used one of those little paper bows on, along with the Frozen Treats stamp set. So I just added the little bow, and then I just punched a circle with the, I think it was the Owl Builder punch, and then I just added that to the center of the bow. All right, let's get my paper trimmer in here. Here's my paper trimmer. And you might notice, I've got a glare here, I've got a strip of white copy paper that I've used some glue dots, and I've attached it underneath my trimmer. So this is a tip for you guys. That really helps a lot when you're trying to check your measurements. If you need to cut something at 4 inches, if you don't have this white piece of paper behind the trimmer or behind the cutting arm or the cutting guide here, it's really hard to see. So just take a thin strip of copy paper, stick it behind there with some glue dots. It's going to help you out a lot. All right, so let's just take our card and let's measure what we need. So we're going to need a piece of cardstock that's about 3 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 for a piece of Designer Series paper. So we're going to stick this in, and we're going to put it at, 3 1/4. And here's my little trick here. I told you we needed it at 5 1/2. Here is the 5 1/2 mark. I can see that because of my paper behind there. Then I'm going to line this up, push this over to the 5 1/2 mark, and then I'm going to come down to 3 1/4, cut up, and there's the piece of paper that I need. We're also going to be using some of the glimmer papers, the new glimmer papers. These are some sale-a-bration choices. Starting February 21st, you can choose the 6x6 Glimmer Paper Assortment Pack, Bermuda Bay, Sweet Sugar Plum, Mint Macaron. You can also choose the Make a Medallion stamp set, or you could choose the Reverse Word stamp set. So these are 3 new offerings that are going to be available to you for the remainder of Sale-a-bration starting on February 21st. So we're also going to use a bit of this glimmer paper. So I'm going to cut a little strip of this off. Bring my trimmer back in, and I'm going to cut just a 1/4 inch strip. So this is the track, so this is basically 0. This very first skinny line here is 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to line that up at the 1/4 inch mark all the way down and just cut myself off a little strip. And we're just going to put that at the top of the Designer Series paper. Okay, so we need to add some adhesive to this piece here. I've got some fast fuse that I'll use. We'll just roll some fast fuse on here. just going to line this up at the bottom of the card. All right, press it up to the top there. And now I'm going to adhere my strip of glimmer paper. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue here, and I'm just going to run a bead down this paper. And then I'll just attach this piece of glimmer paper. That just kind of hides the seam of the designer series paper and to the top of the lattice work that we've got on the card. Okay, just press that down and get my scissors and cut that off. All right, we'll take a pair of scissors and we'll just trim that off. All right. Bring some pieces of the kit back in here. All right, so I've got my Calypso Coral Ombre ribbon here, and I just wrapped it around a tiny piece of a toilet paper tube. And I'm going to make myself a small bow. So here's how I make a bow. I start with the end of the ribbon, fold it over to make a loop, come up, come down, make another loop, so I have 2 loops here, cross the loops, and bring 1 loop underneath and pull it through. And then I just pull it tight, and while I manipulate it a little bit so it looks the way I want it to look, and then I'll just trim off the tail there, and there's our little bow. Also going to take one of these cute tags, and we're going to do our greeting on this. And the greeting that I've chosen is from the Frozen Treats stamp set. It just says happiest birthday. We're going to use Bermuda Bay ink on this. I'll just tap, tap, tap gently and ink that up. Okay. And then while I'm here, I'm just going to add a couple Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of this, so it's ready to put on the card. Bring my little bow back in here, get a tassel out of the package. Oh, these are so adorable. I need some mini glue dots. I'm just going to add a little glue dot to the back side of this tassel. So I'll just press that onto the glue dot. Okay. Bring my card in. And then I'm just going to add that to my card just about right there so that the glue dot is on the paper. Ink pad out of the way. And then I'm going to add the little bow also, same way. Just press that knot into a glue dot. And I'm just going to stick that right on top of the little tassel. Oh, it's so cute. Get my greeting. Pull off the backing pieces here. All right, we'll just kind of get that somewhere in the lower corner. There's where I want that. All right, and now for the inside, we need a piece of Very Vanilla that's going to measure the same size as the designer series paper on the front of the card, which was 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. There's our piece of Very Vanilla, and then I've also got a little strip off that 6 by 6 piece that we had of the designer series paper on the front, and it measures 3/8 by 5 1/2. Just going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of this. All right, get that pressed down. We'll add some glue to this little piece here. That pressed down. That just gives us a little bit of interest on the inside of the card. It's done! Yay! See how simple that was? Here's my other one. Actually, I really like both of them. I don't think I like one better than the other. So these are great. Don't forget to download your copy of the printable template that I have for you off my blog at barbstamps.com. Again, I'm going to have the link to that blog post in the description box below the video, so you can find that easily. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when I publish videos, I have a little button right here with my face on it that you can click on to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.